You are watching Liberty Online TV. You are watching Liberty Online TV.
A nation forged in resilience from the ashes of the 11 years brutal civil war through the shadows of Ebola, COVID-19, and the mudslide. Sierra Leone rises, but the journey is far from over. Governance strain. Youth demand more. Women demand more. 60% in poverty. But what if the solutions lie not in silence, but in dialogue? This is not another talk show. This is State of the Nation, where every voice feels change. From Freetown to Kono, we are turning debate into action. No script, no spin, just Sierra Leoneans rewriting their future together. So we bring you a movement not just to speak, but to be heard. Speak out. All power to account. This is your nation. This is your voice. This is State of the Nation. Only on Liberty TV on Facebook, YouTube, and on www.libertytvonline.com. Every month, the last Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. Tune in. The nation is watching.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of the Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV, where they stream na Facebook, YouTube, and also na our website, where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring this edition of the Breakfast Show to you this morning. Mina Khadija Bangura.
And Mina Mabel Kabba, good morning. Today na Tuesday, the first day of July 2025. And inside this edition of the Breakfast Show today, we can look at President Bio in new position as chairman for the ECOWAS heads of states. What this mean for peace and security na the region, where they can discuss some inside this edition of the Breakfast Show.
Well, this and other story them, plus last week Friday, we be host the Chief Minister, Dr. David Moinina Senge, we confirm say Salon don't get monetization now for TikTok and Facebook. We go can talk to somebody where they work for Meta, Michael Fuller. We go can tell we how possible for region like Salon for they among the country them we monetize for Facebook. And also we go talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Musa Timothy Kabba. We go can tell we the role where President Bio go play as the new ECOWAS chairman for ensure say peace and security day na the ECOWAS bloc, as we don't see this BNTM country them don't they come out from the ECOWAS region and try for form their own region. How President Bill under in tenure it go ensure say it bring all them country they are back under the ECOWAS region. Now that's what they can discuss. But before we can talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, quickly let's watch a clip. USA will be host the Chief Minister, Dr. David Moinina Senge, on Friday. USA it confirms say Facebook and TikTok monetization they now na salon where this na good news for Sierra Leone and especially young people them where they into content creation. Let's listen to what the Chief Minister been said. Then we go talk to Michael Fuller where they work for Meta. We go tell we if this possible for like country them like salon within the West African region eligible for get monetization.
Monetization on various platforms. Certain monetization in a 2 countries in Africa and in get Kenya, South Africa. Other one then they 4, 5. So for me the member salon, that I mean just because of your engagement and in a way not the travel and the social engagement with the other people in there. But I want to tell the salon young people and say because of the engagement at the highest level and the technical level, TikTok don't do training for we people them now wouldn't come, and now some monetization tools don't be available for we na TikTok. And then on Facebook recently, Facebook as well don't make some monetization tools available for we. But not to all man this year, not to all man. You get different criteria than we need for meet. How many? So yes, so monetization available, certain tools available now on a salon thanks to the you get some then we na advertisements like, and also some of the monetization also involve if salon people then they advertise on Facebook. Now you when you post from Facebook, now you the benefit. So once you can be eligible and you get these in-stream ads, but if now America people they no more they watch than they there, and then the people know they advertise and they you know they get that money. So it requires monetization, requires government to they do so. It requires the private sector to advertise, and then because of that money they way you private sector that you country they advertise, now you the benefit from. Now you get back, but it requires that you get a minimum number of followers. It requires that you don't post and get minimum number of views and we did it. It requires that you meet other things then like accounts and you need for set up certain structures. It requires again. So you get some monetization view then we know the number then we know it no matter beside the ads come on just based on what you do. Then you get other one then we like in-stream ads, so the more require. So we advocate, you get plenty different social media platform there with the constant engagement with TikTok. Me and the CEO of TikTok will they talk regularly. The minister they engage them, they try for push for make many more. Then they're not available in other countries in Africa. Like I say, 6 countries there, some then are 2 countries there more, but we they try
so
to put we self first.
So the monetization are more of TikTok on the focus
TikTok now we main one, and then Facebook. Now we are they try for more push for YouTube, so we don't get on Facebook now with Meta. YouTube will be a good one, and so important for make more than they. And the reason we start na TikTok by the way, now informed by data and evidence.
All right, that's the Chief Minister, Dr. David Moinina Senge. We host him on Friday. He confirms, say, because of a negotiation where he don't make with Meta, Salon eligible now for TikTok and Facebook monetization. So for Kano, if waiting the Chief Minister talk whether exactly it happen, because so many conversations don't come around from the first day we post say Salon eligible now for TikTok monetization. We get somebody where they work for Meta, a name now Michael Fuller in our operations customer expert 1. For can't tell we if Salon eligible for monetization. Good morning, Michael, and welcome to the Liberty Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, viewers. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll just play a clip of the Chief Minister, Dr. David Moinin Asenge, who hosted on Friday. But before that, if you don't post them now in social media handles, them say salon eligible now for monetization. This been bring lots of controversy, especially from young Sierra Leonean them, where they into content creation. Then be they wonder how it possible for country like Salon within our West African region for let you they create content and you begin cash out from Facebook and TikTok. Start for confirm if it possible for content creator them we register their account under the Sierra Leone region for let them eligible for monetization.
Well, that's not the idea of monetization, but before that they could be possible, they get certain standards then for meet as a creator, and then also as a country, there are things that the country need for do. If not some of these tools, there's no way you could get access to them. So it's right when you have some number of followers, you are eligible to have monetization tools. But if certain things that needs for happen because Meta is doing business, it's not a charity. So if these things are not met, you might have all these followers, but you not go at the end of the day get which you forget out of them followers than the way you get, or out of your content where you publish outside.
Tools in this case the monetization tools now who that thing is applicable to for people who get accounts where they open a salon.
The current tools where I feel they to salon, Meta has the different type of monetization, like monetization tools, and they not can usually roll them out all to a specific country. Like I be the talk say, they get certain standards then way for be meet. Where when these standards are met, then when I be able for get all the tools available. And the one when are the primary source of revenue for monetization, it currently not available in Nasalo. When are the in-stream ads. And this one, the all one the way available when are stars and subscriptions to my idea, to my knowledge. This one's now people like when are you followers them can give you gifts. It's a form of gift. Sometimes if I dey follow you page, I like you business and at the end of the month, I subscribe to you, I give small money in your account. Or you go live and I let you programs them, then I send for you stars. Where mostly people then as alone not too they into digital banking and all these things. And people in Asalo where they do content creation can only get these benefits until we then get people where they overseas can they do them thing and they for them. But the real winner, the primary source of when are the in-stream ads or the real bonuses not available yet. It's not official yet. Because things in the way the government or the people they need for they do, like where I be they listen to Chief Minister where he talk about the advertisement, that is very for sure. And it's not only going to be government, I mean private sectors, even the government. You need for the run ads on Facebook. For example, EDSA, if they want to do a public service announcement, you can run these things as an advertisement. Individuals where they do businesses them online, instead of you give, I not say you know go give bloggers or pages money for letters for you. Have your own business page, you can able for run an advertisement where at the end of the day the money where you spend for run that ads day, no go even they reach to more audiences more than even the possible way publish for you. And this go make people know say you are legit and you do a real business. So it's everybody's work. So for like content creators there or people the way they do all the things on Facebook benefit the primary source of monetization revenue. It has to be everyone's. People get forget this idea of running ads, because from this ads it's just a commission basis. Meta go take their own, and when somebody they post in video, they put these ads on in video, then it allow instead go get small taken from this ads way they put on a video. But aside that one, these other tools for salon level, it's just like when you meet somebody, you meet a big one and they eat, and because you know what's your hand fine, then they give you mondo na your hand. Just an analogy. They give you one na your hand because you know what's your hand fine. Now not this one we currently deal with salon.
Been the talk about the last time we host Tamnaya, actually means say Sierra Leoneans them way don't be eligible for this particular tool go begin cash out yet.
Like I say, if you have the subscription and because for guest stars you get a minimum of 500 followers in your page. When you have a minimum of 500 followers, you are eligible for let somebody give you stars. But the one whether the e-stream ads, except if somebody else they outside salon, they give you they manage your page, then you can get extra because sometimes pages them where they outside salon to tell if I there I they watch the videos. I can see ads them, but these ads are ads being run in country like a Yawusade for that page they under because somebody they outside if they manage them page you liable forget. But if you do salon somebody they manage your page and they are the primary source of revenue, they get access to them yet. You will get access to these other tools like where Chief Minister be say. I think say the one way because with the whole idea of the issues with the whole thing is because instead of not spell them out, waiting on some of these tools them where they available, and then maybe they see a lot of people and they go and because if you check Meta, maybe you go online and check Google, which now some of these tools them were available, then go just give you the in-stream ads for countries them, other countries and Salon of course not if nada not officially on that side. So until Salon business owners, government institutions where you want for do you hiring, you post this, you run an ad, comedian we want for do a show, it run an ad, it put in ticket link on this on the page. Then when this thing starts to happen, it's the system they sit down there and Meta go see say okay let's roll out these other tools to them. But for now it is not official yet for that in-stream ads wey na the primary source of revenue for monetization. But these other ones, of course, if somebody can give star once you dinner salon, it will give monthly subscribe to you. Then a person get for let you it give you that money there, then that money go na your account.
You left with from which you don't explain it clearly shows say the salon government because according to the chief minister it say they in constant talks with the CEO for TikTok and other people and for Meta for ensure say all waiting and supposed for do from then you end then do them and finally let content creator them from Sierra Leone begin for cash out directly from Facebook and TikTok. It clearly shows say more needs for be done from this end before finally Sierra Leone become monetized.
Yes, like I said, but it's just where you meet people and they eat. You big one, then you know as you hand find it, then take give you your hand because you know as find. And this the engagements can be done, but if these things are not going right, it could be difficult because when people are running ads, for example, if a business they run ads now a specific country, in targeted audience for this ads, it's about in country mostly because they run ads, the Africa they want for run advertisement in Asia. So if somebody they run ads in a salon, advertisement people and they run them in a salon, then content creators and they get the opportunity for get these ads in their reels, in their videos. So with that, themselves go able for go they get access to this commission. But if these things, they're not the people we know like accept it, maybe we still in the old way of running advertisement on radios or TV. It could be very difficult for let that tool they go they available. But unless everybody, people try to accept that, say, okay, let's use the digital space. Let's run advertisement. Let's do it like now. We they get news. You guys are professionals. You've been on the radio. You wanna want to start something. Una accept digital and come say, okay, let's run an online TV instead of you go in the old way, because the world they involve. So we say for continue for involve in that way, they then we be able to get access to some of these things them way other world, then they benefit, because if you go to other places then of course then they benefit this thing. But if we self no do we own part, it could be very difficult for the government convince Meta or any other platform or let them roll out all them tools there.
Many thanks, Michael. We join with this morning and make them clarification then about the monetization where some content creator them don't they expect say this Sierra Leone. But don't talk to the expert now, Michael Fuller, in a customer operations expert one. It work for Meta. We don't clarify say more need for be done from this end, especially for use digital platform them like Liberty for the advertise and corporate institution them for come on board for ensure say then they advertise so that we go eligible for get in-stream ads them and Facebook will begin pay for their ads 10 day. Well, we continue with the breakfast show. Earlier we tell una say we can talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Una Musa Timothy Kabba. As we all know, inside last week, His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, they elect him for be the chairman for the ECOWAS, which means say he in charge of all the 16 countries that we under the ECOWAS region, and it come under this term where country them in the region they get challenged with peace, security, how His Excellency under in leadership he go ensure say he bring all them country under one umbrella for enjoy peace and unity. Now the West African bloc, now that's the Minister of Foreign Affairs, when I been one person we been so instrumental in that election day, and himself don't be the chairperson for all the foreign ministers them na the West African region. Good morning, Mr. Minister, and welcome to the breakfast show.
People of Freetown and Sierra Leone.
All right, I just don't tell you viewers when I just come out na an election, usai His Excellency the President Dr. Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone be eventually win the election for be the chairman of the ECOWAS region. Before we can talk about in role and in mandate and how we go ensure say it bring country them way be don't say then they come out from the West African region, try for lobby they let them series in for come back for ensure say peace, stability then at the region. Let me look at the election. We will not be there, Abuja. So many conflicting stories and they come about the election. Some man they say, na Senegal be supposed for win the election. Another article be the right say President Bio be able to win this election because they be get a strong backing of the outgoing president, winner Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria. Take we through on a campaign process and how we be able to clinch the chairmanship of the ECOWAS region.
Thank you, Khadija, and congratulations to His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio on this on his ascension to the chair of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS. The president sold himself, not least at a time in West Africa and in Africa and in the world where we seemingly forget leadership. And at a time when we see conflict all over the continent, all over the world, all regions of the world are conflicted today. So President Bio in election to that role, now being a timely election, and where all the leaders there agree, concerning the consensus vote that President Bio, one of the doyens of the sub-region, and with him personal, professional experience, I think at a time like this when we see the AES don't become very strengthened and we don't see challenges, democratic challenges in many of the sub-regional countries, as we seek for get transition inside Guinea, and we see the civil unrest within Togo, and we get elections coming on in Cote d'Ivoire and also in Guinea-Bissau. And there are many challenges in the sub-region with terrorism becoming even intensive in the Sahel states where they move towards the coastal countries them, and climate change they wreak devastating impact on most of the coastal countries on the coast of West Africa. So when the leaders they meet now Abuja, President Bio made a speech in pitch out say I am fit to to lead this organization. Sierra Leone has the experience of having transition from conflict to peace and development. So the leaders have been getting there, and then there was a very grueling several hours for make them arrive at that decision because preemptively, like you made mention of them, media like African Confidential, African Intelligence. In fact, when we get to Abuja, me sent a text message to my colleague foreign minister that I wanted to speak to her for we discuss. I wanted to campaign to her, and it's Senegal. It happened because it was very obvious that the most experience in terms of personal experience and in terms of national experience, what is happening right now in the world, in Africa and in West Africa, there cannot be a better leader, especially in this sub-region, for handle some of the issues than like President Bio. I mean, like I said, his personal, professional experience and our own country's experience. But African intelligence went ahead and then go preempt, say, then they go coronate President Bashir Faye of Senegal, which was not the case. And I had gone earlier on, spoke to many of my colleagues, them, we check with them capital. It happened to say President Bio did not reach out to his colleagues, them. So it was just an affirmation of the president in reach out and the need, because even quite a lot of global leaders are also very impressive, about the president in leadership, also been the wish for let this thing happen. And so we have got, sea of congratulatory messages we don't come for the president. People believing that it's the right thing ECOWAS has done. But this brings about a huge responsibility on the shoulder of the president, on Sierra Leone, and on me as well as chair of the Executive Council of ECOWAS Foreign Ministers.
And before we look at the responsibilities here, let me just, for the purpose of clarity, like you say, a lot of misinformation, disinformation being at the media regarding President Bio assuming this particular position. And one of them was there was no election and not just selection or rotational basis able for clinch the position. You know one person we been did for the one that we still not understand waiting exactly now been the process how it happened. Is it a yes in an election then do?
Absolutely in an election. The articles of ECOWAS say the leaders then get for elect the chair of the authority, and an election can be through consensus as well, or through the casting of vote. And what happened behind the scenes was a consensus, which should say the majority of the leaders then confer that, then bestow that particular honor on the president. But it was not the outgone president not get the power for foister on the authority a leader. So obviously it's through electoral process, and that electoral process can be through a consensus process or through the casting of vote. But the outcome is that the President Bio emerged as the chair of the authority, which represent a consensus voting in favor of the president.
You say no other person among the contender them not been fit for seat as ECOWAS chairman, especially time like this, where so many things them they go on at the region than President Bio. Again, another school of thoughts they say President Bio with all of the issues them way himself been go through immediately after in re-elections, it'll be the battle with legality, if I can put on, because up till now, the opposition still they contest the elections of 2023. We still said the international community be the question, the transparency of the elections day. This now one question where critique them of President Bio they put say how person like this go sit down as chairman of the ECOWAS region.
Right. It's there's always going to be opposition. People will always have dissenting views and sentiment towards everything. Very proud moment for Sierra Leone. ECOWAS is 50 years. If somebody tell you say it's rotational, there are rule of thumbs. Yeah, where rules of thumb where BECE people can accept. So, okay, let go this time Anglophone or Francophone, or let go this or that. but it's not written in the articles of ECOWAS. ECOWAS say at every given time there must be an election for the chair of the authority. And it's been since 1981-82, I guess. President Shaka Stevens was chair for the authority, and from 1982 to now, this is the first time, if it was rotational as in the stricted sense of 15 countries rotating, it would have come to Sierra Leone at least twice since after 1982. But it's happened such that when you go and you are there, it may be that there are other presidents that were before you. It could also be that maybe the president we not the most popular one no want, or maybe issues or people just say, okay, you are conflicted democratically. But in this case, it's a very resounding, election where almost everybody, because pre-election, everybody been on Gideon Ward, President Ouattara, President Talon of Benin, President Four of Togo, President Tinubu, everybody. So it's not about whether or not it's rotational or not. This is a great achievement on the part of the president, and it goes to validate that the president is trusted because he's a leader of vision, and he's also a pragmatic and progressive leader. We're able to deal with some of the challenges that are affecting our sub-region. Now, coming to the aspect of criticizing that the president, after 2023 elections, there were controversies, and if that's make the president meet the mettle for become chair of the authority, absolutely. Look, the election of 2023 is a far gone conclusion, and I don't know the international partners and we've get any, we frown at government. No, we are working. There's a fantastic relationship between the government of Sierra Leone and international partners. And I believe, say, elections are not actually the best, not the absolute test of the health of a democracy. Okay? It is one of the elements where they satisfy the soundness of democracy. But in entirety, it's not the be all and the end all. I believe, say, what in they happen in our country right now is progress and development. Elections are gone, and it has nothing to do with the credibility of the president. Elections are conducted by an institution, and where there are dissatisfaction, there are other institutions that redress the consequences of the elections. What we're talking about here is our president being elected to chair the authority of heads of state of West Africa. In other words, to provide leadership for our sub-region for the next 12 months. This is a reflection of the trust when the other leaders of ECOWAS get in the president and the people of Sierra Leone, because when national experience also play a key role in influencing this decision as a country that has transitioned from conflict into development, and one that merchandises peace and security continentally and globally. So take pride in this fact that Sierra Leone has the opportunity. And I take personal pride and professional pride that I'm chair of the Executive Council of Foreign Ministers of the Economic Community of West African States.
So especially now in this transition period, we all know, say, President Bio in predecessor from Nigeria during your own tenure challenging in the region, when you talk about issues of coup d'etat, we don't happen, and other security threats them to the region based on what's they happen in different countries. How prepared is President Bio for able for transition smoothly and inside the next 12 months get an impact?
This is not a job in entirety on the shoulders of the president. He's providing direction, and this is going to be in collaboration and in work with all in colleagues of the authority of heads of state. And that's strategic. That is why in an inaugural speech, they say he got 4 priority areas that they focus on. One being restoration of democracy, of a constitutional order, and deepening democracy in the sub-region. The other being is a breaking the bottleneck with the whole economic integration. And the president also talked about bringing back credibility to the institution, and the other being regional security cooperation. All of these things are, of course, the big picture of ECOWAS. But President Bio don't zoom into them for you, mainly because, of course, as we know, he has got his own personal experience as an ex-military officer, and this particular experience don't draw the attraction of the AES, and that is why we were invited last year by Captain Traore of Burkina Faso for listening and get conseil from President Bio. And I tell you, he was one of the first leaders that contacted President Bio through me as President Bio became chair of the authority. That's the leader of Burkina Faso. And also we are in touch with Mali and Niger as well. So President Bio, in personal experience, professional experience, and the credibility of his leadership will be very much important and useful in this negotiation. It took time for these countries to leave ECOWAS, and it's going to take time to engage them until such time when there will be a future for the AES and ECOWAS, either separately or collectively. But as it is right now, that credibility is what we will leverage on, is what we'll pivot on for engage these countries. And thankfully, Nadeng engaged the president when the president got elected. So we should say there is trust. It's the hour that they were waiting for. 1 year may not be sufficient for anything to happen, but it will form the very important foundation for build upon for the unity of the West African region and for we collective peace and security and for we better integration as a community.
Still inside the election process, we all know say where election can happen. Obviously, then they get winner, then they get somebody who they lost. A contest with francophone country them. How President Bio before he left Abuja ensure say he get a word with all the people that we contest with, especially big nation like Senegal, for let them go get their own support for ensure say he get a smooth tenure during in leadership.
Well, because in the alphabetical order in which then they place with countries then at the table, it is after Sierra Leone, Senegal. So even after the election, when President Bio emerged as winner, he and brother President Faye, then Kane Sidonia, they shook hands. And when the president was called to get the gavel and the crescent of ECOWAS, I sat on the chair representing the president on the flag. And immediately the president delivered his statement. When the heads of state them in the grab, President Bashiru Faye shook my hand because I was sitting on the table. My colleague, Minister Yasin, she came and hugged and wished us well. And this is not to the be all and end all for Senegal, neither for Sierra Leone. We have a convivial bilateral relationship. In fact, in August, we get planned for what we call the Joint Commission for strengthening we bilateral relations in economic, in the area of the economy and other areas. So this not mean anything say they take away the fineness of our relations, no. Of course, the leaders then agree saying that President Bio because they believe say he has the statecraft, he has the experience, he has the vision, he has the background for become that leader at this particular time for ECOWAS.
When we look at the leadership now, you see President Bio get all what he take for ensure say if safe able for bring back nations them way don't left the ECOWAS, but go left a footprint for get a strong foundation for whoever get for succeed them. Now the negotiations then they go on. Youssef Sidom as the chair for the ECOWAS Executive Council of Foreign Ministers. You support very instrumental to President Bio for ensure say he succeed under in tenure. In terms of lobbying around your colleague minister them and ensure say una get all this support. How you stand, with now your position as you sit na this executive council as the chair?
Well, incidentally, I not just come into the executive council as a newbie, as a young kid on the block. I've been around the corridors of ECOWAS for the good part of these 2 years now. And in fact, I have some foreign ministers that are younger in terms of the way we come into ECOWAS as foreign ministers. I get about 3 foreign ministers who then come after me, which will make me also a semi-doyen in the executive council. Of course, there is support, there is respect amongst us, the foreign ministers, and there is that conviviality. And there also the fact that, I speak French when I get out there. So me and most of the foreign ministers from the Francophone countries, we get a good relationship added to the relationship that I have with my colleagues from the Anglophone countries and also from the Lusophone countries as well. So the respect is there, the working relationship is strong, and everybody don't commit for support me and the High Commission, the Nigeria Meet team, for make we able work for the heads of state them through the leadership of President Bio for make sure say this tenure of the president is successful.
And this now So many people, I believe, one major thing within they hopeful for example, na economic integration. How best in una capacity, una plan for work for ensure see not just taking up the position, but issues that we get for do with economic integration when make them paramount.
Economic integration, they go with peace, security, and stability. I'll tell you, since we took, the president took the authority, the chair of the authority, we have had every day to deal with ECOWAS issues. For example, we get a boiling issue going on in Togo. The rest of yesterday, it was that the president was dealing with. And so with the economic aspect of it, the president believes heads of state and therefore give strong mandate to we the foreign ministers and to the ministers of finance and economic development of the ECOWAS state. Strong message that they should allow, for example, unhindered border crossing of goods and services. Because we believe, one of the bottlenecks of full economic integration is accessing one country from the other in terms of commerce. You know, the bottlenecks, for example, for Komayago Conakry, it's one of the most difficult things. You know, I want to reference one Kenyan foreign minister who may say it is harder and tougher for come up from one African country to another, just as it is difficult for brush the mouth of a crocodile. And those bottlenecks of crossing from one border to the other is what President Bio said the heads of state them forgive, then direct presidential mandates to them, ministers of finance, and then custom people them for enable the quick and unhindered, movement of goods and services within the ECOWAS corridor. That's going to help. And for example, President Bio is presently, as chair of the authority, invited to a conference by the King of Morocco, where they for Minse, then go for do this energy pipeline where they come from Nigeria to Morocco, but it has to pass through many West African countries for supply, gas and if possible energy. So these are all the areas where the president therefore be as chair of the authority engaged in the strategic and high-level conversations for economic growth and development.
President Bio assumed this position at a point where many people they question the ECOWAS say how much powers they get within the country then where they under them. You might not agree, but this now a popular opinion out there that ECOWAS not get that kind of power for make decisions, especially if country them under them they go through some conflicts or disagreement internally. How President Bio going to say restore back the confidence and give hope to country them where they under the ECOWAS region say we are here for you as a bloc, and all countries they under the West African bloc una go get this the benefits they una supposed to get as members of the ECOWAS.
First and foremost, Khadija, we're in a very difficult time where international law and many of these institutions, international organizations, institutions, communities are being challenged. Some people will tell you, say, the United Nations is not working right now. So others will tell you that AU is a toothless organization, and the same could be accused of ECOWAS. Times have changed, and the challenges have become even more intensive. And for example, climate change some years back was not a major thing, but now it's a very, very important thing of global and regional interest. And so these institutions and organizations have been really challenged in this 21st century. For example, terrorism was not something that was rife in West Africa. Today, the Sahel is consumed with terrorism. Even the coastal countries are affected by terrorism. So these organizations are being challenged. So the reforming of these organizations, get for help we for those survive these challenges the way they affect the world right now. And that is the reason, for example, in AU, President Bio and this country is championing the reform of the UN Security Council. People will not call for the reform of these institutions if everything is okay. So ECOWAS, like the UN, like the AU, like EU and other organizations in the world, is also very much challenged. And that is the reason why a leadership like President Bio, when a leadership that is developed from conflict, a leadership that is developed from hardship, is needed for able to navigate through these difficult challenges. Like I said, 1 year not sufficient for bringing brothers and back to ECOWAS, but the fundamental work of engaging and connecting the AES with ECOWAS will be done because the leaders have already expressed interest by way of congratulating the president and get expectations for work with the president in the course of this 1 year of in chairmanship.
Under the issues of security in the region, how una plan for work around issues we get for do with combating cross-border crimes, issues we get for do with human trafficking and drug smuggling?
So this is the reason why President Bill say one of his 4 priorities now for revitalize regional security cooperation. That means say insecurity, whether you are in AES, you are in ECOWAS, insecurity na Burkina Faso, it's insecurity in Ghana, it is insecurity in Cote d'Ivoire, it is insecurity in Guinea and all of these places. So that is why President believes say we for intensify the cooperation. For example, intelligence incorporation, basic, incorporation like having the standby ECOWAS, force and all of these mechanisms for ensure say we cooperate together for prevent terrorism from making all kind southwards and westwards like I don't they come. And I think that is right. That's just the right thing to do, to have intensive cooperation with the AES so that whilst then they part the fight of terrorism, we self go to support them with intelligence, then self they support we for become very preventive in the fight against terrorism.
How you go describe Salon capacity for talk on issues we get for do with drug smuggling from one country to the other, especially in the region?
Well, I think there's the UNTOC, which is the UN Convention on transnational organized crime, where we are a part of that treaty. So every country get the obligation by international law and international customary law for prevent the movement of contraband from one country to the other. And I think we get law enforcement and we get anti-drug unit and all of these institutions. We get for intensify we own national responsibility for prevent that, but also within the ECOWAS region for able to strengthen that cooperation in terms of strengthening national security and border crossing security for prevent the movement of drugs from one place to the other, where anyways can go on for fuel terrorism or finance terrorism. So it is in our collective interest for all work as a sub-region for prevent transnational organized crime.
Let we talk about how President Bio in work get for Tanlek under the leadership of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu of Nigeria. Most still na be the converge na Abuja. Now the chairmanship day under the leadership of President Bio of Sierra Leone. Is it that ona go the converge na Sierra Leone? If yes, ona get the capacity for host other nations than for Sierra Leone?
Conferences and big opportunities like this can create infrastructure opportunity again for a country. And the headquarter of ECOWAS na Abuja ide. So which means the meetings are to be held in Abuja. So we're going to get different meetings at what they call the Permanent Representative Committee, that now the ambassadors that will get were accredited to ECOWAS. Then go for the whole meetings. It can be in Abuja, the headquarters. It can be in Sierra Leone. They will get your executive council meeting, one of the ministers, the meeting can be held in Abuja, can be held in Sierra Leone. They get a summit, one of the heads of state, the meeting can be held in Abuja, can be held in the country of the chair, and that is at the gift of the president. Usai Iguan for many meetings don't go be held. But if we were to hold any meeting in Sierra Leone, absolutely, we don't get meetings there, or they get heads of state where they come. So I believe, say, the country will improvise, we will find opportunities for able to make sure, say, we handle the logistics and hold the meetings in the country.
Let me talk about other things then, like during your same tenure as Minister of Foreign Affairs, Salombi sits at the UN Security Council, and by December, una go transition, and we are now saying that Liberia go sit there, and it seemed to be successful during that 10 day, and now the ECOWAS. What thing you do right?
Well, look, the chief diplomat of this country, now His Excellency the President. So the President get the constitutional right for set the foreign policy. When we they follow, I'm more or less like a messenger of the President for convey with diplomatic goodwill out there and also for secure diplomatic goodwill from elsewhere to Sierra Leone. So it is not me, but we have a fantastic team in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. and the other ministries, the way they support the activities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with missions then overseas. For example, with permanent representative mission at New York, fantastic mission. The one in Nigeria, a fantastic one in Addis Ababa for the African Union. We get in Switzerland for Human Rights Commission, ILO, IMO, and all of those. So all of these part of the engine, they work together for produce this sort of result under the guidance and the leadership of His Excellency the President. Now, when it comes to, for example, people can, well, maybe people are not too conversant with the African Union Peace and Security Council. The African Union Peace and Security Council is the continental infrastructure for continental peace and security. Yeah? Sierra Leone is a member of the Peace and Security Council. We got elected in February of 2024 for a 2-year term where they end by next February, but with the prospect of Sierra Leone being elected. But I'll tell you what, our contribution in the African Union Peace and Security Council is as important as it is our contribution in the UN Security Council. For example, in May, Sierra Leone has the presidency of the AUPSC. We led a high-level delegation at permanent representative level for Can Guinea for assist with the transition in Guinea, where the Guinea government quite well appreciate. In the UN Security Council, we don't raise Sierra Leone in principled voice on matters of conflict. For example, in Gaza, we don't call out consistently Israel for the destruction of Gaza, the killing of women and children in Gaza. We also categorically criticize the 7th October attack on Israel, which led to the abduction of hostages. And we don't also, Sierra Leone, they hold the file. We are chair of the Sanctions Committee in the UN. We don't expand and extend mandates in Congo, in Sudan, in South Sudan, and also the Ukraine conflict. Sierra Leone don't give in principled voice for call for international law, accountability, and also the Iran-Israel conflict. We don't raise a voice. They will get some pertinent security issues them, or they deal with now the Security Council, where they continue for bring peace about peace and security all over the world. So our contribution to the Security Council has been outstanding and appreciated. This May as well, we got elected to the ECOSOC, of the Council of the UN of the United Nations for a period of 2026 to 2029. So all of these international institutions where USA they operate get direct impact either on the country in foreign policy and also on the personal citizens. I tell you, there are more than 5 Sierra Leoneans just in the course of 2025, where because of international posture, where we don't recommend, the president don't recommend for international jobs within international multilateral institutions, we don't get a job then they just with phone calls, just with recommendation. That will not be possible if we not hold strategic positions in multilateral institutions. One of the highest Sierra Leoneans in the African Union is now a permanent representative of the president of the African Union Commission to China, just with a phone call.
Speaking of impact, charity begins at home. President Bio, in this incapacity, how we plan for workaround in comping heads of states them, especially for the issue we don't be outstanding for Salon and Guinea. I talk about Yenga. President Bio in incapacity, how we plan for workaround this?
President Bio in incapacity will prioritize Sierra Leone in leadership. Of course, charity begins at home, and in this case, the Yenga issue. But actually, there are limits to which anything can happen. It's not a leadership to be used at your exclusive gift. It's one that is guided by laws, it's guided by regulation, it's guided by protocols. So, but the president will prioritize Yenga, but that does not mean Yenga go finish under the president in leadership of this 1 year. But a lot will be done within this 1 year for bring Yenga as an important issue under ECOWAS.
So people have to be hopeful, say inside in 12 months now office as chair for ECOWAS heads of state, something impactful will come out
Cautiously
regarding
hopeful,
Yenga.
yes, under the leadership that some advancement significantly will be made. But I don't want us to build castle in the sand for say in this 1 year, Yenga will come to Sierra Leone. Definitely, that's not the way the authority works. The authority now where President Bio gets, they give you the opportunity now for mainstream. In fact, before the president take the authority, ECOWAS has been dealing with it because I took it to the mediation committee of ECOWAS, took it to the Council of Ministers meetings, we deliberated it, and it remained in the agenda for the President Bio and we for carry that agenda.
One big question where they ask where the announcement come out say President Bio take up this position was how Salon people go benefit from this, if not just him traveling to go and get them position here for himself. How Salon people will benefit from this?
You cannot be part of the sub-region and you don't contribute to the sub-region. Sierra Leone is a startling beneficiary of ECOWAS. During the civil conflict, it was ECOWAS that first came to our aid. Now ECOWAS can add through ECOMOG and restore peace and stability and democracy in our country. So if others have contributed, others then leadership and then contribution, now make people then come to this country for can help we. I think if we serve then at that position there for help other countries, that is benefit and glory to the people of this country. We therefore provide leadership in we organization, and that leadership may be direct benefit to us, and it can also be direct benefit to the organization, which is important, giving back to the organization that gave so much for our country.
All right. Then we look at messages there now. We don't come inside the program for the Minister of Foreign Affairs as he don't explain the role we President Bio get for the play, especially now we're in the chairman for the ECOWAS region. The first one they take now from Facebook, Abdullah Bilukule, they say Sierra Leoneans must begin to think more strategically rather than pessimistically. President Bio's appointment as ECOWAS chairman is a notable achievement for the country, with Siaka Stevens being the only other Sierra Leonean to have held this position.
To look at more messages, I will begin for read from the YouTube channel. The very first one from Jibril Bangura. It says, Mr. Kabba, in what ways will Mr. Bio's leadership of ECOWAS contribute to alleviating the hardship faced by the people of Sierra Leone? Or is it just simply an opportunity for him to expand his influence?
Sidi Bangura, they say, congratulations to Honorable Minister Timothy Musa Kabba for a proud representation of Sierra Leone at ECOWAS. The people of Bombali district extend their heartfelt congratulations for your distinguished representation of Sierra Leone in the Council of Foreign Ministers at ECOWAS. Your leadership and dedication to serving our nation are sources of immense pride for us all. Minister Kabba, your commitment to fostering regional cooperation and diplomatic relations has not gone unnoticed. You adapt handling of complex issues at the ECOWAS level reflects not only your professional capability, but also your deep love for Sierra Leone. We're proud to see you embody the values of integrity. As a son of Bombali, your achievements inspire us and reaffirm our belief in potential of our youth to lead with vision and purpose.
To look at more messages, this one from Robert Kabba. It says, all right, we will replace that message here.
B. Aliu, they say, congratulations to President Bio for being the elected chairman for ECOWAS. But Mr. Minister, please tell us how the president will settle the dispute of Yenga between Sierra Leone and Guinea.
Yenga, the person they say the Yenga issue should be on the table and the Guinea soldiers should be removed from their barracks at Yenga.
Jibril Kanu, they say, Mr. Minister, on which democratic legs will President Bio stand on? Looking at our 2023 election, how will Sierra Leone benefit from being chairman of an organization on life support? We have been persistent of the United Nations Security Council and gain seats on the most powerful world organization, and yet we cannot protect our land from foreign invasion, Yenga from Guineans. Now tell the citizens, how will being chairman of this dying organization save our land? Just hope and pray Guinea will not take over my district, Cambia, this time around.
This one from Fenty at the YouTube channel, they say all of those bodies are fully functional. Why is our country not thriving? Is it that the government only works outside of Salon or what?
This one, they say, Tim Kabba is the most vibrant and effective foreign minister so far. There is always something new. Keep it up.
This one from Abdullah Lukule. They say, I'm very proud of our Honorable Minister for your diligence. You consistently remain calm and polite when speaking to the audience.
My final one from Akibo Ben Koma, they say Tim Kabba's maturity in diplomacy is supposed to be UN Secretary General. He's very confident in addressing the issues.
Abubakar Sidianke Kano, they ask how alphabetical order not put Sierra Leone before Senegal. This one from Sir Kondima is saying, Mr. Minister, what does the ordinary Sierra Leonean stand to gain for President Bio's chairmanship of ECOWAS?
All right, from the messages, then they will return out to you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very much, and thanks to the one that always send the message, and Mr. Bangura, Jibril Bangura. This is not to, not a conversion of power, not to more power and influence the president they look for. It's an authority where they give the opportunity for leadership to be provided at a time that is very difficult. And I believe, this leadership is necessary and it's important. And I make overwhelmingly the leaders then vote for the president. And as I say, since the president assumed the role, he has started working. We deal with very critical issues right now. Togo, for example, the president deal with them, and everybody is calling. And the 2 days have been very much busy for the president. And so there are leadership, way to provide leadership during crisis, and the best definition of the sort of leader that you are. And President Biodon consistently shows is a leader where they make the right decisions during crisis. And I think this is the reason why the leaders in our ECOWAS bestow on the president this honor and authority for lead the organization for this next 12 months. And the people of Bombali, Korinio Momono, I thank you very much for the messenger from Bombali. I'm also very proud of Bombali and all the people of Bombali. And on Yenga, of course, like I said, it's not going to be solved in this 1 year, but it's going to be made a priority. I mean, the president is the chair, and I'm in the executive council, and it's something that is on the agenda. We're going to push and make sure, the message within the ECOWAS mechanism is gone very well, that Guinea for demilitarized, left that place there and give it back with territory. We're working on that. And someone says ECOWAS is a dead organization. Well, because it's not a dead organization, that's why they continue for conducting activities. And ECOWAS goes beyond peace and security. And because it's not a dead organization, I make would use ECOWAS passport for go within the ECOWAS countries. Because it's not a dead organization, I make ECOWAS that contributes in our country in development by way of providing resources for certain social programs. And so, of course, because the organization get challenges, that is why President Bio is elected for make sure the organization is strengthened and it's revitalized, and that there's credibility for the organization. And all the others are mere commendation. With humility, I want to thank them for the messages they wouldn't send, and for thank you very much also to Una the studio for holding this particular discussion for the audience.
Lots of people they say President Bio already they travel overseas a lot. Now we don't be chairman. This go get more responsibility for the travel back a lot.
Well, traveling is not pleasure. I'm foreign minister. My responsibility now mostly out of the country for travel. But anytime my members say they travel, they get a grueling night because it's not easy, not least for travel from Sierra Leone. So, I mean, that's thing about traveling. Some countries as small as Togo is, they get private jet for even the foreign minister and for the minister and for the president. Heads of state, they get for travel, for engage, for cut out opportunities for their countries. We get statutory meetings that all for travel. But as I tell you, it's an excruciating experience. 1 week, it make me get worried. I become very worried about traveling the next day. So, of course, with a better performance, more work is, bestowed on the shoulders of a good worker. And this is what the president now has. The president therefore be even more mobile because these issues are not exclusively in Sierra Leone. So it means that the president go for the travel, the sub-region, therefore they go to sister regional organizations like the EU and all of these areas. So it's very important.
At the expense of the ECOWAS Commission.
Of course, ECOWAS Commission takes care of the logistics.
All right. Many thanks for joining me at the studio this morning. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Musa Timothy Kabba, for explain about President Bio in elections where he win for being the new chairman of the ECOWAS region, and also to you we dey sit now na the Executive Council of Foreign Ministers as the chair. We look forward to the goodies they want to go bring back home as una also sit na this very important position at the region.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, well, that's now be the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Musa Timothy Kabba, we join with this morning. Now, so we're in the breakfast show for today. Many thanks to all with the watch and also to you. We send you text message. Apologies if you're unable to read on our messages. Them continue for Watch Liberty TV throughout the day as we go bring on interesting content. Them we go tell una about different things that will go happen in the country. Mina Khadija Bango, they say have a good day.
All right, until we meet again, Mabel Kabba, they say get a good day and goodbye.
Develop city, then clean. All clean city, develop.
This is Yvonne Akisoya, Mayor of Freetown. And today, I want to talk to Freetonians about sanitation. We objective, transform Freetown, transforming lives. We not go able to achieve them if we all not join hand. Freetown City Council get role, but every Freetonian also get responsibility. Let we start first with the fact say FCC with the sweep 110 major streets every single morning from Monday to Saturday. But when we don't sweep the streets, if Freetonians then come and they continue for heap dirty in the street, in order to make the place look fine. Now make we get them litter bins them. The yellow bins we wanna go see around. So when you waka, you drink from your water bottle, your water plastic, you eat your packets on tin. Not even a ground where you done. Make sure say you put on one of them bins then they. That litter bin they. In order for you host dirty. You know mean say if you pack you host dirty, you can pin her next to the bins them. Not to the idea that. Not give you host dirty to them one way the Allah say clean salon, clean salon. No say that dirty way they collect now you host. In order for Karango, now the one of the two official sites. In order Karango Kisi Bome, in order Karango King Tom Bome. It turns so, it left on the ground. And now we council get a problem, but you self get a problem. Because now front somebody else in Domot, your own dirty don't end up. So what you for do with your host dirty? We get the one then a council when we don't certify. So then approved waste providers. Then they on tricycles, some of them they a vehicle. You will get host, you will get business, you in a hospital, institution, everybody for make sure say their waste collected by an approved FCC waste collector. We get the tricycle groups, we get the companies. So you go see them around. We engage with them on a regular basis. And wait till we go do now as we come into this new year. Now for make sure say FCC stand behind them. For you, for no side and day, and for let them go to you, so that we no go get a gap. When you eat dirty in a gutter, it end up na Lumley Beach, Toke Beach, all the tourism ambition where we get for the city, we lost that potential there. FCC, they spend boku money pan dirty business, the fuel, the labor, the vehicle maintenance, the spare parts, the night operations. The illegal dump site clearing where we get for the do every now and then. All that boku money. I'm not going to say we're not going to spend anything, but we're going to reduce some. If Freetonians then do the right thing. Because we're not going to get for go clear illegal dump sites. We're not going to get for sweep as many streets and spend as long. So if we reduce that money we spend now on dirty business, we go able put some on development. We all want for improving municipal schools. We want improve the markets them. We want for let we see new developments at the city. That money where we use for dirty business. You and while we all make up with mind. Pay.
You are watching Liberty Breakfast Show on Liberty Online TV.